Goodhue.
I move that the question be now put.
Kelvin Davis.
Thank you, Mr Chair. Mr Chair, I think that the title of this debate should be Another Waste of Time in Energy Bill. The reason being, as an educator of some 20 years, every time we bring an education bill to the House, the first thing I do is look through it to see exactly where in the bill it's going to have some suggestions that are actually going to help students learn, to help students achieve, help students pass their papers, help students earn degrees and get qualifications. Mr Speaker, there's nothing whatsoever in this bill that's going to help one single student actually learn a single thing. Rather, everything in this bill is actually going to jeopardise students from learning. They're going to jeopardise students from learning because they're going to take away or jeopardise all the support that's in place for students because of that the student associations provide. For example, who is going to take over welfare? The welfare of students, those students who may be a bit hard up financially and they need to go somewhere to get a bit of help, such as the food banks. What about legal help? When students need legal help for whatever reason, where are they going to go to for legal help? I remember my sister at Waikato University happened to be in a pub underage and needed a bit of help from somebody to help her get through that sort of situation, Mr Speaker. And who's going to help her if those services are jeopardised? So, Mr Speaker, I believe that the title of this bill should be the Waste of Time and Energy Education Amendment Bill. It could also be called Let's Focus on the Wrong Stuff, because this is the wrong stuff to be focusing on in terms of helping students to learn, helping students to gain their qualifications. Whether or not they're allowed to join a student association is not going to help them. It's not going to help them pass. In fact, the bigger help, they will get more help if they actually join a student, if they're able to be part of a student association, because they've got all that support there behind them. So this could also be called Let's Just Whip the Support out from under the feet of students bill, because that's exactly what it does. Like I said, it takes away, it jeopardises, it doesn't take away, it jeopardises all those services that students may avail themselves of. And we just need to look over at Australia, what happened to when the voluntary student membership bill was passed by the Australian government. Associations there basically collapsed. They effectively collapsed or had their services drastically reduced. And basically what it did is it implemented a user pays system, and of course we know that tertiary students aren't exactly the most well-off people on earth, and so their ability to access the services was jeopardised because of the user pays. So, tertiary institutions over in Australia had taken over services and assets previously owned and operated by students. This resulted in unpopular decisions being made. Elite sports teams, for example, that were being funded instead of social sports teams. And of course, social sports teams play a big part in the life of tertiary institutions. Myself, when I was at Teachers College, they helped. We had sports tournaments and competitions against other teachers' colleges. And what's wrong with that sort of thing? Because students actually need to have a life outside of just doing all their studying. Part of that whole social side of tertiary institutions actually helps them get through as well when it comes down to the hard graft. I mean, if you're going to be studying all the time, you actually need a bit of time out doing the social sides of things. Also, it was noted over in Australia that there were more than 1,000 jobs lost in the student services area. Well, you know, that's ridiculous. If in this time of a recession we're actually looking for jobs, this in fact may jeopardise more jobs, and we don't need that in New Zealand, because we certainly can't rely on the cycleway that we've heard so much about from the government. So, Mr. Chair, This reminds me also of like drivers. There's drivers who are insured and drivers who aren't insured, and then there are those drivers who wish they were insured when they had an accident. Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Ian Lees Galloway.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.